woke up and this is where it was rejecting this area, so we're
Oh
gonna,
yeah,
yeah, I'll wait for a few people to join and then we're gonna do some fresh analysis over here.
yeah. Did you trade the Asian session?
um no, I did sit and watch, but there wasn't really anything that I liked. So the analysis from the Asian session was was this area here, was if we could have a support formed above this area. Now this candle closed above, but then
Yes.
the next candle closed like a week bullish, so there was no buys. Next candle closed a week bullish, so I was like, okay, well, it's either going to shoot up or it's going to pull back into this range. So when this bearish candle closed back in the range, I was like, at that point now, I'm just going to call it a night. And then obviously the next candle pushed right up to the target that I had, but that's just how it goes, I'm afraid.
And that was the move of the Asian session.
Yep, yep, that was the move. That was the move. Right, how many people we got here? 6 people. Make sure I can hear myself okay. Yeah, sounds good. Right, cool. Let's do some fresh analysis over here. So, morning everyone in the YouTube. Thank you for coming to watch. No Wilksy today. Did he try and join?
I don't know.
Oh, he's online.
Yeah, he's online.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he'll turn up. Maybe he won't. Morning Ash. What's going on, bro? Right. Let's do some fresh analysis here on GDP/JPY. So let's start off with the daily time frame. It looks like the daily candle has pushed up to retest this resistance that we created at 137,200. Now I know currently it's pulling back and rejecting it, but I think if we start to get candles closing above this area, if we look left, we have this clean counter left hand side. So I think at that point we should continue moving bullish to 138. So hopefully we're going to see a nice push today. Otherwise, if this area is respected, there is a chance that this daily candle could flip bearish, and then of course by that account GJ could just range and we could potentially come down and fall back down to the support 135,870. So it's the two things that we're going to be looking at on the higher time frames. But let's look at the 4 hour. So yeah, we can see on the 4 hour, right, we came up to this resistance, we tapped into it, and now we're starting to pull back. Now this 4 hour's only got 52 minutes left to close. Now I think as long as this 4 hour can close maybe bullish, the next 4 hour candle may come up, fill the wick, and break this area, which would be nice. So once we break this area, right, we can see we have clean candles to left hand side, maybe coming up to this previous support, as we never created like a resistance over there. So this could be a good area. So on the 4 hour, we've got like a 50 pip range, so that's going to be a really nice range. Now at the same time, we've created a minor support within this range, right? So we've created a support. This was from the Asian session, and this support has been held at 136,800, and price has continued to push from this area. Now when we go to the 1 hour time frame, so looking on the 1 hour time frame, we can see that we created a support above this area here of resistance, right? We created support down over here, and then at the same time, this was our support from the Asian session last night, right? So we've got a support over here now forming at 137. So we see a few rejections to 137, and now price has come up and it's created a high. It's created a high over here, and it's also rejected this resistance here on the hourly at 137,300. Okay, so when we look on the hour time frame, we can see that we do have this smaller range but still a clean move on the hour time frame once we break above this area, but ultimately we need to see a support formed, something like that along those lines, for price to continue moving up to retest the high. So let's go to the 30-minute. So looking on the 30-minute, see the previous 30-minute candle, it closed with no wick to the bottom. So there's a chance that this candle could close bullish and then come up to retest the high. Otherwise, I would want to see a break above this resistance at 137,300 for price to continue pushing up. And then we have our first target over here at 137,410. Okay, so let's measure this range. Okay, so this isn't really a big enough range. This is only like an 11 pip range. So I want one or two things to happen. I want price to come back down to 137 to form a support again, and then we look to take a buy. Or I would want a break above this area, maybe expecting the volume to break through this minor resistance, because when we break this area now, when we look left, then potentially we have some issues at 137,500, which is again another smaller range, but just based on the 30-minute time frame, a good target would be this wick fill over here, maybe around 135,700. So I think we're expecting a little bit of volume to break through these minor levels, as the ranges are quite tight. But ideally, yeah, see, it's already starting to come up over here. Look at the 15-minute. Okay, so 15 minutes creating that support. So yeah, I don't think we can really do anything until it breaks above this resistance here to the left hand side. But I suppose what we would be saying is we'd be expecting, I know this range is very small, it's only like 10 pips, but hopefully we would be expecting the volume to push price higher up. But yeah, apart from that, GJ looks a little bit messier today. I mean, there's not that much clean moves. The ranges are pretty small, but I still think that we could come up. No, I don't think we've got no Wooksy today.
Good.
So, oh wow, it's already coming up over here. Oh wow, looks like it's just gonna run without us.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna continue pushing over here.
It doesn't care about us. Damn.
No, I'm not taking anything there. Just have to wait for that count to close. Let's check out Euro JPY while we wait. So looks like Euro JPY is closing below this support here on the 30-minute time frame. So I think you want to see this candle close below, and then maybe you're expecting the volume to break this minor support, as the range is not that big. It's like 10 pip range. So yeah, maybe you're expecting the volume to break this and continue pushing price down. Look at gold over here. Just some fresh analysis on gold. I'll come back to your JPY. Yeah, so looking on gold, we do have a support formed here on the daily time frame, and then this is the low that we created down over here, and then we created a resistance on the daily time frame as well. So when we go to the 4 hour, so looking at market structure, this is where it's either going to respect the bearish downtrend, or it's going to respect this short-term bullish uptrend. So that's one thing we have to be aware of. So we have a support created down over here at 1876, and then we also have a support being created on the 4 hour at 1885. Now we can see that this was the resistance on gold, which was like a previous support. So this is a strong area on the 4 hour. This is a very strong resistance. So I mean, if we're going to continue pushing up, this may be the area to which gold revisits. Now let's look at the 1 hour. So we can clearly see on the 1 hour we rejected this resistance again over here. So we would need to see a candle close above this area for any buys, and then we have clean candle to the left hand side to 1904. So we're going to look at that on the 1 hour time frame. But if we break this support over here, then we have clean candles coming down to this next target area, 1875 700. But the 1 hour time frame price action is, looks very messy, very difficult. So we're going to maybe bring it down to this whole range here, because this is a massive range. Let's look at the 30-minute. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense in the 30-minute time frame. We're in this range over here. Let's bring this down a little bit. So we're ranging here. We also had this minor resistance within this range. So it looks like we're creating a support. So I think that I think the best thing to do on gold is to wait for a break above this area, maybe like a 30-minute close. And then as you can see, we have clean candles to the left hand side coming up to retest this resistance. But then if you want to have a bit more of a conservative target, you'd be looking at this previous support, as we did not create a minor resistance once price started to break down. So there was no retest, there was no resistance formed, it was just a straight bearish move. So that's what we're looking here in gold. Now if we can successfully close back in this range, then we're going to fill this range over here on the 30-minute time frame, something that saw play out the other day as well. Check out GJ. Yeah, see GJ is pushing up over here. I mean, if it's going to continue pushing, we're just going to have to wait for like a minor support for price to continue moving up. Let's check out GDP CAD. GDP CAD is doing the same thing. It's breaking the highs over here. So the daily's kind of consolidating here on GCAD. Okay, the daily is consolidating, so we have to remember that. So it's probably most likely going to come back up to the top of this resistance. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, see, this price action is very messy, right? We can see on the 4 hour we're in a massive consolidation range, but it looks like it's going to be approaching this next resistance. Let's look on the 1 hour. So this is the resistance on the 1 hour time frame. We also broke above this previous area, so we're coming up into the next range over here. Look at the 30-minute. Yeah, so I think for buys, I would want to see maybe like a pullback to this area, 1.71550, and then a support formed for continuation, because otherwise it looks like it's just going to continue pushing over here. And then if you can get a further break above this area here, which was a previous support, I think that price can continue pushing further up as well. So let me just remove this, because this is the 4 hour resistance that we have over here, and then we have this other minor area here to the left hand side as well. So let's move this, measure this range. This is like a 15 pip range, and then this range is like 30 pips. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But GCAD, yeah, it looks pretty difficult to trade today, I must admit. Ooh, see, yeah, see, GJ's pushing over here. The buys got pretty hard. You would have had to have taken a very aggressive entry with the buys, potentially, breaking the high to continue pushing, but then stop's going to be pretty big, so you have to take that into consideration. So yeah, so we'll see if we can catch something, see if we can get a pullback. Let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, see, the 15-minute candle closed above this area. The next 15-minute candle starting to push, but yeah, I think we'll need to wait. So I'm going to wait for something on the 30-minute time frame. So, anybody got any charts for me today? Yeah, I'm going to get some background music starting for next week, but it's just, yeah, it's not really a priority right now. Yeah, our best bet, wait for a pullback, and then we'll see what happens. Because it got pretty hard to take a buy over here. Because then technically, if you're taking an impulsive buy, you're kind of buying at the high. You also have the fact that this range isn't very big. So this range is only what we said, 10 pips, and then the stop loss was going to be 20 pips. So, and I think a pullback to this area as well, because this is the new support that we've created. Let's check out Euro JPY. Euro JPY is coming back in the range, so we need this candle to close below this support, and then what you'd be expecting is price to break this amount of support with volume and continue moving down. USD JPY is kind of doing the same thing. It looks a lot like gold on the daily time, that gold was on the daily time frame. So you could just see a straight push to the downside here, but we need to see a break of structure. Yeah, still waiting on gold over here. Again, a break above this area here, or potentially a support formed above this area to retest the high, but we'll have to wait and see how big the bullish candle is. Thank you, Ash. Yeah, I don't think we've got anyone else from the group coming in today. I'll just pop it in the chat.
Hey, I have a question.
Sure.
Is there any rule that says about entries and waiting for support resistance to be created? I mean, let's have a look on EJ, my yesterday's trade as an example.
Yeah.
We had the resistance. We broke this resistance on 30-minute candle.
Yeah. Or down over
The
here.
above one. Yes, this. And it usually seems like we have two kinds of situations. One is where we have clean traffic on the left, so this is the one.
Yeah.
And the second situation is where we have some kind of a bit choppy price action. So when do we have to wait until support forms or resistance forms? When we have a clean traffic, do we have to wait until it forms, or it is more likely if we have clean traffic, we can risk and just make an entry based on the breakout candle?
Right, okay. So I think when it comes to the idea of waiting for a support, waiting for resistance, is you have to remember, okay, let's use this example. So yes, we do have a clean traffic to the left hand side, right? We do have this clean candle, and that's why that candle got mirrored. Okay, so that move was mirrored. So the way you would have caught that move was a break above this area and then a further push. Now, when I say wait for a support, wait for a resistance to be formed, let's take this example here. Okay, let's take this example. So in fact, we can take this kind of area here. So when price, in fact, we can use this what actually happened here, right? Because that's going to make a lot more sense. So there's two things that can happen when you have a clean candle to the left hand side. The first thing that can happen is it mirrors the whole thing, right? We have a whole candle that will mirror this area, or what we have here where we have a few strong candles mirroring this move. Okay, so at that point, if you was waiting for a support, you would have missed the move. So if you're waiting for a support to be formed, let's say on the 30-minute time frame, you would have missed the move. Now, when I say a minor support, that all depends what time frame that you trade off. So when I say a minor support, I want to see, so let's say it's coming up, I want to see maybe like one bearish candle pull back, and then as soon as I see a bullish candle maybe come up, break the high, close bullish, I'm expecting the volume to continue. Now, if we was to go to the 15-minute time frame, or in fact the 5-minute time frame, now you're going to see, right, so these are the pullbacks on the smaller time frames. So here's a pullback on the smaller time frame. Here was a pullback on the smaller time frame. And what it did was it created these minor supports. Okay, so remember, candles move the same in all time frames, right? So this exact candle structure could be on a 30-minute time frame. So all I'm waiting for is these minor pullbacks on a 30-minute time frame rather than a 5-minute time frame, because I know the 30-minute is a much stronger confirmation for a support to continue moving up, right? But you may miss the move waiting for a support. So this is why I either look for a break, because this is a break and then a continuation. And let's say that doesn't work out. Let's say, this candle closed bullish over here, but then the next one starts to drop and comes back to this area. At that point, I would want to see a support formed at this area, right? Because then if I have a support formed at this area, that is going to be the platform for price to continue pushing further higher, right? Now, the other thing that can happen is what happened here, where it keeps pushing up, and then, it could just randomly have a one candle pullback, and then you're thinking, people will start thinking, okay, now we're going to retrace back to this area. But then what may happen is then the next candle either comes up and breaks the high, and this is where you have volume coming into the market, and that's where you learn about impulse entries to continue with the rest of the clean traffic, or you have a candle that will just close bullish as so, and then that's going to be your catalyst for the next candle to go bullish to continue the move. So with the example that happened yesterday, right, here was your retracement candle. This bearish candle was your retracement candle. Now, when I spoke about the impulse entries, so once we broke above this area here, you could also see we had further clean traffic, right? So we broke above, we finally had a retracement. But let's say you waited for a support to be formed, you would have missed this buy, right? Because it just came straight up. So that's where impulse entries come into play, and that's where you're expecting, if it breaks the high of the retracement candle, that the volume will keep pushing it up with the clean traffic. But that takes a bit more experience. You have to see that happen a lot more. So what I used to do was just purely wait for a 30-minute candle to close in my direction before I could take a buy. Now, I missed a lot of these moves due to the impulsive moves, but that's why I know now how to catch them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have learned how to caught them if I hadn't have missed it and saw what happened, if that makes sense.
Okay, clear. On the other hand, can we check GJ, the current situation, which seems to be not clean on the left?
No.
So let me check. We had a breakout candle. The next one went up a bit. So would you take the buy on the break of the breakout candle, or just let it fly and then waiting for pullback anyway?
What you mean down over here?
Yeah, we have a breakout candle, the one that is, yes, with the bottom wick and the top wick actually.
This one, yeah.
Yes, this one.
Well, I suppose this candle was the breakout candle, right? This candle was the breakout candle because it closed above this area here. So this was your consolidation before there was volume in the market. This was your breakout candle. Now, the issue I have is on this particular occasion, and it's good that I didn't take this trade because I wasn't awake. But if you would have took this buy on the breakout, I always say, you want to keep your stop loss below the breakout candle, because that is essentially that's the candle that done something the other candle couldn't do. So if you did that, you would have got stopped out on this occasion. So I think the play was the this candle to push further up to retest this area, as you know, we had this whole big pullback. So this is what's called a liquidity grab, and then it comes up and closes bullish. So then you would expect this next candle to pop up, but stop loss would have been pretty big and things of those nature. So 9 times out of 10, your stop loss below the breakout candle is going to be okay.
Okay, clear. Thanks. Anyway,
yeah, that's fine. So right now, you know, we can't take a buy because we have a resistance which is like 7 pips away. The stop loss is going to be way too big. So I'm definitely going to have to just wait over here for something that makes you know, more sense, something that's a lot more simple. So yeah.
Right.
Just check out the hourly, because yeah, see on the hour time frame, this is the area that is most liquid. This area here, we can see that these 2 hourly candles, they came up and tapped into this area. So that makes me think the best opportunity that I can get is a buy above this area, this resistance. So as prices move pretty bullish, I want to see a support form above this area, even if it's somewhere over here, to fill this range. Okay, and if I have to wait hours, I'll wait hours, but that's what I'm going to wait for, because right now we can't take a buy over here.
Okay.
Okay. But this is where I have to remember that, you know, the 4-hour new 4-hour candle is coming up to open in 30 minutes. So we may expect like a pullback, which is where we're going to be, which is good for us, because then we're going to start to see a retracement, and then we'll just wait for that support, and then we should be good to push the price higher up. Check out Euro JPY. Oh, so Euro JPY candle closed below support. So if you were to take a sell, stop would be below the breakout candle, which is around 10 pips. And then what you would do is you'd be expecting this minor support to break with volume. But of course, the safer bet at this point is to wait for maybe a minor resistance to be formed at this area for price to continue moving down. But if you want to expect volume to keep pushing price down, then this candle should do like a small retest, and then it should come down and fill this range, and then maybe break this range, and then come and tap into this next support area where we have that wick to the left hand side.
Okay, I think this comes with the experience, which one of those situations to choose.
Yeah, exactly. Because my rule of thumb is, you know, if the first breakout doesn't work, so if this candle, say, closes bullish and it closes below this area, I just reduce the risk, and then I just wait for a minor resistance to be formed, and then that will be the further confirmation for a continuation.
Yeah. Phew! I was I was thinking if there is some magic, you know, rule when to choose.
There's no magic rule, but I just, from situations, I've just created my own rules. And to be honest with you, there's just the 2 things and a couple of things that happen really. You know, so this is your typical breakout, right? Where you have a break, a retest, and a continuation. You also have situations. Let's try and find one. Maybe like this, right? This is an example. So this was your support, right? This is your support. Candle broke support. Yeah. Then we had the next candle come and do a retracement, but it respected this area, right? It closed below this area. We then had a candle close at resistance, and then the next candle closed bullish. But once the resistance was established within this area, then we had the further drop. Does that make sense?
It makes sense
so
perfectly.
If this one doesn't work and I can't make my profits on this one, I'll wait for this sort of formation to happen, and then we'll take the drop. Otherwise, if it drops and we don't get the opportunity to sell, then we just have to wait for a pullback and then a continuation.
Okay.
So yeah, I think Euro JPY should continue moving down. Let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour should come down and fill this wick at 124.450. Look at the 4 hour. Yeah, because the 4 hour is rejecting this area.
Yes.
4 hour is rejecting this area. So if we break this support on the smaller time frames, there's a much higher probability that we're going to continue moving down. Look at GJ. Yeah, so I think a pullback to this resistance and a support form, this most recent resistance, could be good, but ultimately it's a little bit situational and we'll see what happens with it. Check out the FTSE over here. Start with the daily. Yeah, let's look at the daily. So it looks like daily is coming down. It's rejecting this area. It's rejecting this area. We've got a lot of wicks in this area, so I think it should continue moving down. I mean, the higher time frames that I've been looking at on the FTSE, if you've watched my market breakdowns, you know, it looks like there's a high chance we're going to continue to drop. You know, this is the rejections that we're seeing. So hopefully we could pop back down to this support area, and then once we break that, continue dropping to these next, you know, liquidity zones essentially. As so. So let's check out the smaller time frames. The 4 hour. So the 4 hour rejected this resistance, strong rejection of this 4 hour, and it looks like we're breaking below this minor support within the 4 hour time frame, and then we have clean counter left hand side coming back down to this support. Let's look at the 1 hour. So 1 hour created this resistance up over here. Looks like this move up was a fake out. Looks like it's starting to break below this support. And it's approaching this next area, but then once it breaks this next area, then we have a clean move coming down to support. So we're going to look at that. Let's look at the 30 minute. So yeah, so looking at the 30 minute time frame, once we break this support, I think there's a very high chance that we could come down and retest this next zone over here. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. DJ. Okay, we've got 22 minutes for this candle to close. I upgraded the zoom, by the way. Oh yeah, I did hear a driller, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I did hear it, yeah.
When it starts to drill, I'm unmuting myself.
Oh, right. That's alright.
Sorry,
That's
man.
fine. No, it's cool. So yeah, so it looks like gold created a support, but it was a very weak bullish candle. So we need to wait and see. Got no one in the YouTube with any charts. I know someone's got a chart for me. Let's put it up on the Instagram. Yeah, I'll have to work out how to get the background music going. It looks like gold should continue moving up over here. GJ pushing up, Euro JPY. Yeah, so you would need this candle to close below the support. Would you say that last EJ 30-minute closed on or below support? I would say it closed below, because we're looking at the fact that this is the point at where price closed, and the candle closed below that area. I know that if you look at the wicks, it didn't close below the wicks, but we have a wick in our direction. We have heavy momentum. We rejected from the upside, and we closed below the support. So if you don't feel safe, remember, it's about what is comfortable for you. If you don't feel comfortable taking a sell now because you're worried that it's going to reject here again and it's not strong enough close for you, then wait for a minor resistance to be formed, which is going to be a lot safer to continue moving down. Okay, if you're not comfortable, that's the best thing to wait for. But I think right now, I think this candle should continue to drop. If it doesn't, it may close like a weak bullish, and then hopefully respecting this area, and then the next one comes down, breaks the low, and then continues to drop. But we want to maybe see this area be broken as well, because it could react to this support and then start to drive up. So that's why we have to be aware of that area as well. But partly you're expecting volume to break this support. GJ's doing on the 15-minute. Looks like it's just ranging over here. We need to wait for a bit more cloud direction. Clear direction. Ooh, gold's pushing up over here. So see, this is what I'm talking about when price creates a high, forms a support, and then you get that continuation. But this candle closed very weak bullish, so it would have been a lot more risky to take a buy. The other thing I'll be looking at is if this candle can close bearish as so, and then the next candle starts to come up, breaking the highs of both of these candles, could potentially take an impulsive buy to break this area to continue moving up. But that's another thing I'm going to be looking at. But again, this is all situational based. So FTSE starting to retrace. GCAD starting to retrace. Gold still pushing up. UJ still ranging. Euro JPY starting to go bearish. So I think if people are in EJ sells, as this candle starts to break the low of the breakout candle, you could potentially start to bring your stop maybe above the current wick to be a little bit safer. Or what you want to do is maybe say, okay, well, if it breaks this high, then I'm going to close 50% of the position, or something like that. But EJ should continue moving down. Yeah, this weekend I'm gonna spend time like really putting some effort into making the stream look nice, getting some banners and stuff, um, sort out some background music, all that type of thing. So EJ is coming down over here. I think once it breaks the low, it should continue pushing. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a nice move here on GJ. I think we're just waiting for some more volume to come in. This is maybe like a pullback candle, and then yeah, I think we're gonna see a nice push here today. GJ starting to retrace. Check out Euro JPY. Euro JPY is starting to come down and break the low of the breakout candle. There we go. So it's broken the low. So hopefully it should continue pushing over here.
I wanted to take that, but I didn't. Risk to reward to small.
I think a good entry would have been on the top wick, because then you would have got a really good stop loss, six pips, and then you'd be securing now. Yeah, that's where I would have taken the sell up over here. Yeah, so Euro JPY is starting to come down to our target area over here. So anyone caught those sells? Taking an entry on the break of the low, would you consider that as selling the low? It depends. On this occasion, no, because you're expecting a breakout. So, like we see happen a lot, one or two things going to happen. It's going to continue pushing, at which it wouldn't be selling at the low, because the low hasn't been created. We don't have a bullish candle. Price is bearish, so we don't know where the low is, but it's closed below our key level. So I wouldn't say selling at the low. I would say that if you was looking to take a sell when this candle closed below this area, you would have taken a sell because around this area over here, because one, you're going to get a much better stop loss, and two, the fact it's closed below, you should have the confidence that price is going to continue moving down. is if you take it when it breaks the low, you know, you got to measure this to the next support. There's not enough range for the stop loss if you're gonna have it over here or over here. But if you took your entries up over here, you can be securing profits at this area where we can potentially reject from. You know, like what it's potentially doing now. So yeah, I would recommend just if you see this situation again, just have the confidence to execute on the retest or somewhere up over here, get a better stop loss, and then if it breaks the low, then that's an extra confirmation in your mind once you're in the trade. If it's not breaking the low, and you know, let's say it's got a few minutes left to close and it's still not breaking the low, that could be a good confirmation for you to, you know, take some risk off the trade. But usually I change the way that I take my impulse trades, and it's very rare that I would take a buy or sell on the break of the high of the breakup. Pardon me, anymore. Yeah, but it does work in certain situations. But because you have this minor support here, it would not make sense to take a sell here with this amount of range compared to up over here. Okay, so in this situation, I wouldn't say to take a sell on the break of the low, but there are other situations that can work. Definitely. So you would have taken it on the current 30-minute retracement. Yeah. So as this candle's coming up, you're expecting this to be like a liquidity wick. Plus, you get a much better stop loss if you take yourself over here because you're keeping your stop below the breakout candle. And then once this candle starts to flip bearish, you're already into profits. So you can really manage the trade much better at that point, you know, as you can see it coming into profits. Because then if it starts to come down and then retrace back to your entry, that's where you may say, okay, well, let's take some risk off without me losing anything, you know. Take some risk off at break even, take some risk off at plus 2 pips. That's still a little bit of profit, and you know, you're going to manage the trade a lot better compared to over here, because now you're going to be in drawdown, now you're going to be back at your entry, now you're going to be debating where we're going to break this area, where if you're up over here, you're still in profit, and you're just like, okay, well, I already know what I'm going to do. If it breaks this area, then it's payday. If it comes back up to my entry up over here, I'm going to close 50%, blah, 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 alright? So, GJ is still doing a retracement, which is good. That's what I like to see. I don't want it to go without me. So I'm happy it's retracing.
Today is important event in Europe on 12:30.
Got some news.
Yeah, it's a monetary policy statement, European Central Bank.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I've just gone on trading view. I wanted a Forex.
Within 1.5 hours.
Yes. Oh, what you mean the yellow folder? This one, 12:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it should be okay.
It's
It's only a yellow folder. Let's go to actual news.
okay. You're using Forex Factory.
Yes.
I'm using investing.com, and there's
it
has 3 stars.
Oh,
So like very important. Okay.
Stalking any trades? I mean, I'm not stalking any trades, but yeah, I'm looking for some DJ buyers over here. We're gonna wait, see how this candle closes, and then I will assess the situation. Potentially looking for an impulsive buy if we can break the highs over here, but that will be obviously a riskier trade, which, you know, yeah, that's what I'll be looking at, or support formed at this area, break above this area, support above this area. So there's a few things we're looking for, but we don't know what's happened until it prints. So I'm gonna wait wait, see how this candle closes. Checking the gold. Gold's still pushing up. It's taking its time though. GCAD, GCAD's retraced back down to this area. So if you're trading GCAD, I would want to wait for a support to be formed, and then you'll probably get that push to fill this next range.
Crazy pair. Crazy pair.
Yeah, the FTSE's crazy, isn't it? Right. Let's break down the Dow. Okay. So starting off with the daily here on US 30. So it looks like that the daily closed above this resistance over here. And it looks like it's kind of reacting to this area, but I think it should continue pushing up, and I think it should come and fill this wick over here. Let's look on the 4 hour. Yeah, so 4 hour closed back above this support. Okay, so this is good. So the 4 hours closing back above this previous support resistance. So it's created a support over here, which is good. So it should continue moving up. It looks like it's tapped into this resistance over here, and it's starting to pull away. So it may not have the volume to break past this yet, but once we break this area, we see on the 4 hour we have clean candle to left hand side. So let's go to the 1 hour. So when we look left on the 1 hour time frame, yeah, we have clean moves. So maybe this move's gonna get corrected, this downside move on the Dow. Let's go back over here. So we can see that we've created a resistance over here. It's our most recent resistance, and we also have a support on the 1 hour as well that was created since pre-London. So it looks good to continue moving up. Let's look at the 30 minute. So it looks like the 30 minutes doing a fake out over here, or reacting to maybe this area here like a support. So yeah, I think you need to see a support formed, and then it should continue moving up to retest the high and fill that 4 hour. So that's something we're going to look at. And then once it breaks that, okay, maybe your first safe target is going to be this area here where we've rejected before. But then once we break that, then we have clean counter left hand side. So I would say that we're maybe going to incur some issues around this area. And then ultimately we should get up back to this previous support. But it may be as like a really strong breakout where it's really hard to catch the move. So we'll see what happens. Let's see what GJ's doing over here. GJ's got 2 minutes left to close, and it's closing a weak bearish candle. So I think, yeah, we're gonna wait and see. I think a good opportunity to take a buy may be the break of the high, expecting the volume coming in at pre-New York to push price higher. But I want to see potentially a bottom wick first, but I'll see how this candle closes, because it's still got 2 minutes to close. So hey bro, what do you think about EJ? We've just done EJ analysis. We actually, yeah, so it looks like it's doing a retracement here now. It kind of tapped into this area, so this area is definitely something to be aware of. So I think now if you're still in sales, I mean, it's up to you, but ideally maybe take some percentage off if it's coming back to your entry, considering you was up approximately 10 pips. So yeah, it's up to you. I think if you're still in sales, you'd need to see a minor resistance form, but ultimately this candle needs to close below this area. It needs to respect this area for price to continue moving down. If it closes back in the range, my advice to you would be to potentially close positions as it may do like a retest, and then continue pushing up. So you don't want to get caught in that. So yeah, you need price to respect this area. Okay, nice. So we're looking at GJ, and it's coming down to this area now. So I do think a break of the high could be a good idea for a buy, but let's measure the stop. Yeah, okay, we'll see where the next candle goes, but I'm thinking that could be a good idea, a break of the high of the previous candle, to expect the momentum to keep pushing, because look, we keep having these moves where, you know, we create a high, pull back, and then we have a further push. So we've seen that now, pull back, big push. So we have the same thing happening again, and we have a clean range above this area. So hopefully if we can break this high, pop into this area with volume, we should continue pushing up, but it needs to break the high of the previous candle, and yeah, so we'll see what happens. But that's something I'm really looking for. Otherwise, just a close above this area will be good, because what may happen is I may take the impulse and then it starts to retrace and then eventually close above. So if it closes above, then that's good. If it doesn't, then we probably just close full positions if it closes back below this area. So if it pops up, breaks the high, this is why they're a lot risky. It may come up into this area and then pop back in and reject, and at that point, if it starts to come in and close back in the range, we'll just exit the position. Yeah, so I think this next candle here on gold should create a bottom wick as so, respecting the low of the previous candle, and then hopefully start to pop up, fill this wick, and retest this high that we created. Yeah, all we need is something. I think the Chancellor is having a speech right now, but I might be wrong. But all we need is something said, and we could catch a big push. So we will see what happens. Looks like it's coming down over here. Looks like it's rejecting this area. Yeah, we'll see what happens. A support forms would be good also, but could just be creating this bottom wick to come up. What's that about? So it looks like the FTSE done a fake out over here. So it should continue moving up to fill this range. But we will see. Would you always stick to higher time frame buys even though you can see opportunities on the other direction of 15-minute on the 30-minute chart? I would say that I would always stick to the smaller time frames for any execution. So like, alright, for example, yesterday we had in our mind that the bias was bullish, right? The bias was bullish. and where was it? So it was over here. So the bias was bullish, right? We closed above this support. It was already had this uptrend push from the London session, right? And the bias was bullish. The higher time frames looked bullish. Everything looked bullish. But on the 30-minute time frame, I saw an opportunity to take a sell, right? I saw an opportunity to take a sell on the smaller time frames. So my answer to that question is that I wouldn't always stick to my high time frame bias. It's something 100% to be aware of, but you have to put that in confluence with the smaller time frames. So let's say this candle closed up a strong bullish, then I would have thought, okay, well my higher time frame bias was bullish. We got the confirmation on the smaller time frames. Now I execute. My higher time frame bias yesterday was bullish, but I had confirmations for a sell, right? And I executed, and it was a winning trade. So personally, I wouldn't be too fixated on the higher time frames. It's just something to be aware of, and it's just you just gotta have it in the back of your mind that whatever you think is gonna happen on the 4 hour, the daily, etc. And then you're just looking for those confirmations on the smaller time frames. So I think let's measure the stop. Okay, stop's gonna be pretty big. So the only thing I can think is to reduce the lot size by a little bit to compensate for the slightly bigger stop loss. But I'm expecting if we can break the high of the previous candle, we should continue moving up over here. So we're going to reduce the risk a little bit to compensate. But I think if we break the high, I'll be looking to potentially take a buy. HFX, do you see the sell? I was about to trigger a sell on 137.7, break below, but then back down. 137.7. 130.7's over here. I think if you mean this area, I think you mean 27. Yeah, I think that's very risky. That's a very risky sell. If you're talking about this area here, I would definitely say it's a very risky sell. There was on the 15-minute. Do you mean 27? I think you mean 27. 137.27. Yeah, I think that's really risky because it kind of not closed yet. That would have been like an 1.3. Yeah, I think that's I think that's very risky. I think that's good that you backed out of that. For sells, at the end of the day, look, market structure is bullish. That's fine. Market structure is bullish. So taking a sell against this trend, that's not going to end well. Yes, yesterday the trend was bullish, but we had a fake out over here. We had bearish momentum start to come in, but right now these bearish candles, these are just retracement candles. So structure's still bullish. So until you start seeing a break of structure, then I would say at that point you can start looking for sells. But while price structure is bullish, I wouldn't recommend looking for a sell. So yeah, hopefully this candle looks like it's setting up to bring us some more volume. Let's look at the hourly. Yeah, so if we look at the hour time frame, yeah, hourly should come up and fill the wick, but ideally I want it to break this wick and push further up. Yeah, of course. The higher time frame structure is made up by the lower time frame structure as well. So you have to just focus on the time frame that you're going to execute on for your structure, for your zones, things like that. But yeah, of course, higher time frame. Just have it in the back of your mind, for sure. So yeah, so I think if we break the high over here, we'd be taking a buy to hopefully push beyond this zone. That's what we're looking for. But let's say that it doesn't break the high until, like, you know, the last couple of minutes of the candle. Then at that point I will wait for a close above. So you want to see, you know, this push start coming in with some time left on the candle. But yeah, no, you definitely got the right idea about the higher time frame structure, because that's really important. But just remember, the lower time frames make up the higher time frames. So I've been in those situations where I was too fixated on the higher time frame bias and I missed out on the smaller time frame moves. So just something to be aware of. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. The condition I'm putting on for the impulse is it has to break the high, because we're expecting, you know, the pre-New York volume as it starts to come in to break this and push price higher up. But otherwise, you know, if we get a candle close bullish here, you may expect the next candle to do so. So, the 15-minute. Okay, so the new 4-hour candle opened up. So let's see what happens. Looks pretty bullish. Everything looks pretty bullish. You looking at EG? No. But if you want to send a chart, I'm more than happy to check that out for you. But no, I don't trade Euro GBP. See what Euro JPY. Ooh, yeah. See, anybody in Euro JPY sells. This is what I was saying. So if the candle closes back in the range, there's a much higher chance for price to continue moving up. So that's why we saw this fake out. So I hope anyone in sells either secured positions down over here or closed when this candle closed back in the range. Okay, so EJ done a fake out. Gold, yep, see, gold created that bottom wick, starting to push over here. So I think once it breaks the high, it should continue moving up. Check out GCAD. Ooh, GCAD closed back in the range. Yeah, so FTSE 100 did a fake out, should continue moving up, but we're gonna focus on GJ here for a minute. Look at the 15-minute. 15-minute is closing good. So yeah, just waiting over here now. A lot of weight involved. Always a lot of waiting. Yeah, it'd be nice if this candle closes like something like this. That would be really nice, because then we could take a buy to come up, retest the high and break this resistance and push up, and then we can get a much better stop loss. So we could then at that point put the risk back up. So that's something else that I'm going to be looking for. But it looks like it should do something that we want it to do. We've got a chart over here. Let's check out this chart. Check out this chart. Ooh. What have I done wrong? Let's open up another chart, see if that works. Is that gonna work? Nope. What have I done wrong? Do I have to remove this? Can't remember. Let's try that. No, it's not working. Not working. What have I done wrong? Did you just replace the Alright, maybe I need to leave this all in then. Yeah, it might be, because I did this yesterday and it worked. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, resend it over and then we'll check it out. Yeah, if you resend it, we'll make, because I think that's, yeah, I think something's not right there. Don't worry, we will check out your chart. Got another chart over here, let's check that out. Okay, right, I'm not sure why it's not working. Give me a sec. Let me just... Okay, let's start again. There we go. Right, cool. So, been taking note of this lately. Price fakes out, retests, and falls. Would you consider a wick entry on the retest? So I think you're thinking that this area is a resistance, which makes sense. You're saying that this move up was a fake out and you're expecting price to continue moving down. I think that could work if this area is not respected. So if we get a candle close below this area, then I would say that your idea makes sense to continue down to retest this support. But if a support is created here, then potentially, you have to think that this is old information. This is old information. This is the new information. So the new information is price create a high, doing a retracement. If it can form a support above this previous resistance to continue moving up. So yeah, I would be aware of that, but I think it all depends where this current candle closes. So if it closes below this area, then I would say that your analysis makes sense. Let's check out GJ over here. Yeah, see, if this candle closes bullish in the next 8 minutes, then I would say that is not gonna. Yeah, I'd say that it's gonna continue moving up, and especially we are in this bullish uptrend. But of course, it is what you see, so respect that. When 4-hour and daily candle is bullish, and I find a sell set up in 30 minutes, should I should take it or not? Sometimes it work out if I take it. That's up to you. I mean, if you know the daily and the 4-hour is bullish, then maybe you want to wait for like a support somewhere to take a buy. But if you see an opportunity to take a sell, then yeah, you can execute on that. It's literally what I did yesterday, right? As I was saying earlier, 4 hours bullish, daily was bullish, and yeah, like, I took a sell. So it does work, it does play out. You just have to look at the smaller time frames, because you're only trying to really anticipate where the next candle is going to go, okay? And the daily and 4-hour could be bullish, the weekly could be bullish, and you can still catch a sell as a winning trade. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Hey bro, do you always wait for the 30-minute candle to close or enter as the 15-minute as well? I wait for the 30-minute. I look at the 15-minute because when I'm in a trade, I want to make sure the 15-minute low or high hasn't been broken. I want to see it still trending on that smaller time frame. But really and truly, I just stick to the 30-minute because yeah, it's just higher confirmation and yeah, just a lot easier. Yeah, if everybody could like the stream, that would be great. Yeah, let's check. I'll try your chart again there. I don't know how to explain pronounce it, but I think fraud. Yeah, try it one more time. Try it over here. Oh, okay, we got it. Sorry, my fault. So if you're watching, Freddy, so you're looking at this as an hourly area, candle broke down, so you've taken a sell, keeping your stop loss above this area over here. Yeah, makes sense to continue moving down to retest the low. Okay, so hopefully you would have seen like a minor resistance formed on the smaller time frames. So obviously what you don't want is for this candle to start popping back up into this area and then to drop further down. So obviously you have to understand this is a little bit more of an aggressive sell, but yeah, it makes sense to continue moving down to retest the low. So yeah, definitely I like the idea of taking partials at the low, stop to break even, and then your secondary TP will be down over here. So yeah, makes sense. Check out GJ. Yeah, I think if this candle closes bullish, I'll still maybe potentially look for a buy, expecting price to break this area. You spoke to Gerja. Yeah, I speak to Gerja when I go on the Asian streams. We talk. He's a good friend. Yeah, 15-minute candle look the same. Okay. Yeah, I think as long as you can see a minor resistance formed, then that's going to be a much better confirmation than just aimlessly expecting the next candle to push down. Yeah. Got 4 minutes over here for GJ. Greg, are you still with us?
I'm still with you guys. However, the guy is drilling all the time, so I decided to unmute. I never know when he starts drilling. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's cool. It's cool. No
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. But just don't. If you need any questions, just come on. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Waiting for EJ to break again downwards. To be honest, I don't believe in that fake out.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think it all depends where this candle closed. This next candle, because let's check at the hourly. Because the hourly never closed below support, so this next hour candle could start to pop down. So keep an eye on that. But essentially, people taking sells, they would be in drawdown right now. So that's why I said once this candle closed back in the range, at that point you want to close everything, because otherwise, if you didn't, you're going to see this next candle start coming right back up to where your stop loss is, and people are going to start panicking. Okay, cool. So we've got 3 minutes left for this candle to close. It's not broken the high. It is creating a support. So I'm gonna wait and determine where this candle closes, because I think at this point you're expecting the volume to break this minor resistance and continue pushing. So that will be my trade idea if this candle can close bullish. But if it breaks the high at this point, I won't be entering an impulsive buy, because it's only got 2 minutes left and it's not going to push up 40 pips within 2 minutes. And if it does, then I'll look like an idiot, but that's very rare that's going to happen. Check out gold. Ooh, gold pulling back. He messed his FTMO up. Oh, did he? What happened there? HFX, would it be safer to get into a buy once a big candle body closed fully above 137.4 on the 30 minute? Yeah, I think that would be a good trade. But still, you got to think about it at the same time. We've created another high and we've done a retracement and we're forming support again. So I think as long as this candle can close bullish, I think you're expecting the next candle to continue pushing up and breaking the support. But this candle hasn't closed yet. I mean, look, now it's starting to pull all the way back. So we're going to wait for this candle to close, and then we're going to assess. We're going to assess the situation. But if it closes like a weak bullish candle, we could see a similar situation to yesterday, right? We could see a further retracement back down to this support. So yeah, we're gonna wait. We have to wait for this candle to close. It's only got 20 seconds over here. Yes, this is a very weak candle at the sec. So no buys at the moment. It couldn't break the high. Oh wow, it's starting to come down now. Looks like it's starting to close bearish. Yeah, I don't think there's enough rain. Oh, okay. So situations have changed. Situations have changed here on GDPJPY. So initially we were looking for support above this area to continue moving up to, break this area. But it looks like this candle now has closed back below this range. So it looks like, who was it that sent in the fake out chart? I can't remember. Was it? It might have been Imran. Imran, looks like your sells could be playing out as we speak. So yeah, I'm not gonna take these sells. I think at this point it should continue pushing down to this support. But I'm not gonna take that. I'm gonna wait. Still waiting over here. Yeah, fake out is on. Yeah. Yeah, looks like it played out, but I was looking for this candle to close bullish. Yeah, the only thing is this 15-minute candle, it closed with no wick to the bottom. So just be aware of that. But I think it's good to continue moving down, to be honest with you. He broke max loss rule. He was close to a draw point. Oh, shit. What's the best way to understand the price action? Just reading candles, understanding market structure, doing that for a long period of time, and then you're gonna understand price action more and more as you keep seeing things happen. HFX, do you also set your stop loss on the 15-minute candle as the range is smaller, or on the 30-minute candle with a big stop loss? Yeah, I usually want to keep my stop loss above or below the 30-minute candle. Is going to be a lot safer than the 15-minute, but it depends. There's been the odd occasion that it looks good, but I can't. The stop's going to be too big on the 30-minute, and then maybe I'll put my stop on the 15-minute, but it has to be quite a strong 15-minute candle, something that I don't want the next one to completely retrace. We've got Paul in the building. What's going on, Paul? GBP CHF looks super clean if it gets support. GBP CHF. Check that out. Ooh, Euro JPY rejection. GBP CHF. Don't look at it, but oh, I think you mean coming back down to support. Yeah, because of this clean candle. Yeah, I see that. But I don't understand GBP CHF. I mean, that looks pretty choppy to me. Oh wow, when it pushes like you can see these big moves, but yeah, it looks pretty difficult to me. Yeah, nice. Paul's got a chart over here. If you were to take sells based on the 30-minute close, how would you have managed the trade? Okay, well, first of all, my stop would have been above the previous 30-minute candle, and essentially, let's look at the 15-minute. So your stop loss would have been above this 15-minute. So essentially, there's no real area for you to reduce the risk if a high or low gets broken. So I think at that point you would just have to expect price to continue moving down. But I mean, if you really wanted to, you wouldn't want to see candle, retrace much more than, let's say, like approximately midway. But if it does, it can still go in your direction. So yeah, I think at that point you would just have to expect the fact that it closed back in the range for price to continue dropping down. I think you can only really manage it based on going into profits, maybe getting your stop loss at break even fairly quick, Yeah, something like that. But it did look good to continue down, but I didn't want to take it against this trend. I'd much rather wait for another support to be formed. And if you look on the hourly is still open, and it could be generating, you know, some liquidity to push higher up. So until this hourly candle closes, I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna know what it wants to do yet. Right, Paul. Let's check out your chart. Ah, that's what you're looking for. Oh, okay, on the 15-minute time frame. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I like it, man. I mean, I know that's been playing out for you, so yeah, 100%. It's just simple. High created, pull back, wait for a support, even in this area or down over here, and then look to buy back up. Or at the same time, you know, you go look at, okay, well, where's the point at which there's a potential reversal in the trend, which would be, you know, if we start breaking below these support areas, then there may start to be, you know, resistance created for price to drop down. So, but yeah, Paul's got it all figured out over here. Well, thanks for coming, Paul. When you're feeling a bit better, mate, we'll have to get you on the mic. But I hope you feel better anyway. Yeah, well done to guys who caught those, or girls and guys, caught those GJ sells. I think it made sense. I think it did make a lot of sense. You know, we had a clean candle to the left hand side, price closed back in the range. But just for me, I think personally I'd rather wait for further confirmations for some buys. But I think once we break this support here at 137, at that point I'm going to look for sells, because that will kind of be a break of this overall market structure, and then I think at that point we should fill this range back down to 136, 800. So that's what I'm looking at for sells. Oh wow, what a push. Look at the 4 hour. 4 hours doing a big retracement. Looks like the 4 hour rejected this area. Look at the 1 hour. Yeah, I think a break below 137 is going to be the catalyst for price to continue moving down, which would be a breaker structure. So essentially, you know, we could come down, break this area. At that point I want to see a minor resistance formed, and then a continuation to fill this range. And then yes, we do have like a couple of minor areas, but I think once we get the minor resistance formed, you're expecting the volume to you know, break these areas. There's no news come out about Brexit or something. Yeah, I mean, that was in the yellow folder. Oh wow. Ooh, there must have been something said, because that is a big retracement. Was it from the Bank of England? Yeah, I can't see. It must have been something they said. It must have been something that the Bank of England, or if I think the Chancellor was talking today.
Who died?
Yeah. I think he was speaking today. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's just type in. Nope. Nothing really. Okay. Wow, what a drop. Look at the 15-minute. Wow. Well, I think it was Imran. Looks like you're the winner here today. Yeah. But definitely a good example of why you should wait for candles to close. Because right up until the last 30 seconds of this candle, it was bullish. And then it came down and it closed below, and then it was just a straight drop. So yeah, I think if you want to know how to catch, I could have caught this move. It did the same thing yesterday. Just a little bit different. It came up, right? It came up and it created this high, and then it continued to drop. And then when it came to the NYSE, we saw that later push during the day. So maybe it's going to be something similar over here. Just have to wait and see. Let's check out Euro JPY. Did Euro JPY fall? Okay, we're starting to create a minor resistance here now. So see if it continues down. I think realistically a better sell would be below the support, because then we have a clean candle to left hand side. So we'll look at that. Let's check out gold. Yeah, I think gold's just ranging right now. Oh, the FTSE went super bullish, so it did do a fake out and is coming up here to fill this range, so that's good. Oh, even GCAD dropped. So I think GCAD was this fake out. This was the move on GCAD, was the fake out. Did a small retest and then it just dropped to fill this range. Looks like Euro JPY should continue moving down to fill this wick over here. I just didn't like the fact this 30-minute candle closed with no wick to the bottom, but I did reject this area. So I think this was like a pullback for liquidity being formed, and then for some further downside. So I think, you know, if you wait for a break of this support, you know, maybe wait for price to come down, create some form of low, and then if it does a retracement, forms a minor resistance, to continue moving down, because we have a lot of clean traffic here. So yeah, I don't see any news for why it done this. The structure is pretty bullish, so I mean, the only thing I can think is that the markets have taken something out of, you know, the Bank of England's policy summary or something like that. That's the only thing I can really think of why we would have such a drop.
Or the second option is that maybe we'll push the button.
Yeah, maybe.
Gotcha, guys.
Yeah. Someone just went boom. Still dropping up here. Let's check out the 15-minute. Wow, see, the 4 hours broken the low of the previous 4 hour. I think it should continue moving down to 136, 800. Then we're going to retest that. Yeah, at this point we definitely need to see a minor resistance form. Let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, I think this 15 minutes creating like a liquidity wick, and then if it comes down, breaks this whole low, it may actually come down and fill this whole range, and we may miss the move. But ideally, we want to see where the 30-minute candle closes. Yeah, because we already had the Bank of England speak today, so yeah, it may just continue running without us, to be honest. That 30-minute candle may just continue moving down to 136,800. But ideally what I'd like is this candle to close below this area, and then if we can get that amount of resistance formed to fill this range, that would be really good. But I'm not sure if we're gonna get that one here. Just look at Euro JPY. Yeah, it's creating that kind of resistance over here, but I think ideally the best bet is to wait for this support to break. Check out USD. Yeah, USD JPY is still ranging, but I suppose if in this range we do have this kind of like minor resistance here as well, but I don't think the range is going to be big enough. No, it's like 5 pips. No, forget it. Minor resistance to form or possible sells below 136,800 going forward. Yeah, I suppose if we break 136,800, we have this clean candle left hand side, maybe some form of correction to 136,580, which makes sense. If we break that, then again we have further clean traffic coming down to next support at 136,300. So yeah, I just the overall. Yeah, let's look at the daily right now, because I just want to check out the daily. See if this daily candle flips bearish, there's a potential chance that we could come down and retest the support that we've been consolidating really from since the start of the week, because we've revisited this support a few times, and it does look like we're rejecting this high over here. But yeah, I think we need to see a break of this structure for that to happen, because it's quite a way down. Yeah, so if this 1 hour closes bearish, we may start to see some more bearish momentum come into the market. So yeah, I would agree. I want to see where this candle closes. I think that's really important. I also think it's really important what happens on this current 4 hour, because if this 4 hour is creating liquidity to continue pushing further up, we would need to start seeing strong supports be formed on the smaller time frames, which would then mean that this 30-minute I think would really need to respect this area. And if it doesn't, then essentially that could be our confirmations for some further downside. But you can't take a sell. Let's say it closes below. If you used to take a sell over here, the stop's going to be massive. If you look at the 15-minute, we don't know how high up the next 30-minute can wick up to continue down. So I think if you're looking for sells, maybe wait for a 15-minute candle to form a resistance here, something like that. But me personally, what I'm going to look for now to be adaptive is I want to wait for this candle to close in 9 minutes first of all. Then we're going to wait to see if we can either form support here again, or if we close below, if a minor resistance can be formed, and then I think we're going to fill this range here at 136, 800. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Minor resistance to form or possible sales below 130. Yeah, oh yeah, we heard that. Yeah, exactly. But if that candle was like something fundamental, then yeah, we'll have to see. You do mentoring? Yes, I do mentoring. Yeah, if you have any questions about that type of thing, just drop me a message on Instagram. I'm here to help people. I think most of you know I have my own private group and stuff. So if you're more interested in that type of thing, yeah, just message me privately. Otherwise, I'm completely happy with people just coming on the stream. This is what I'm here to do. So. Cost. I'll say this once. Not being rude. I don't think it's fair to be talking about the thing that I'm actually selling on a free live stream. But it's £250 for lifetime membership, mentorship. Sorry, or membership, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, any questions? All information is on the website. Website's will be in the description, or I'm sure if you check out my Instagram, you'll find what you need to know there. If any questions, just drop me a DM or something like that. So yeah, I think if anyone's looking to catch some further sells, yeah, maybe a minor resistance form in the 15 minutes, something like that, but yeah. Right, I think I'm going to go make a drink, and then I'll be back in a minute. Yo, I'm back. Caused by news, Harrison. Yeah, I was looking for that. I couldn't see what actually affected it. I tried typing it all in, but yeah, there's nothing that I can actually see. But I mean, it's probably something that was said, you know, by either the Bank of England or something like that. But yeah, I mean, market structure was bullish, so yeah, I agree that was probably something fundamentally driven, but what, I don't know. So still waiting over here, just gonna wait to see where this candle closes. Look at the 15-minute. Let's wait and see where this candle closes. If anyone's got any more charts, feel free to send them in. Yeah, it's very possible, I think, at this point, as the hourly's closing bearish. 30 minutes closing bearish. Yeah, I think it's very possible now that we should continue moving down. But how we're going to get an entry, I don't know yet. Yeah, I'll get some background music tomorrow. Paul's still there, Paul. I'm gonna have to get you to show me how to add some stream music. I'm just seeing something on my phone here that says Boris Johnson is expected to announce tougher COVID-19 restrictions. So maybe that's what is going on. Okay, so it looks like the 30-minute candle is closing below 137. So let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, I think our best bet is to wait for a resistance to be formed, because taking a sell now is going to be very tricky. So I am accepting the fact that we may miss the move. Yeah, I think the move really was when this candle closed back in the range. I'm afraid it was a fake out. So Imran did call that. So well done, mate. I have to admit that was pretty good, but I was thinking maybe that was just a retracement. But yeah. Looks like that was the move so far of the day. So I'll have to see what happens here in the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, I think if it breaks the low of this previous 15-minute, it should continue moving down. Yeah, I think it should continue moving down at this point. May have missed a sell. Yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, let's watch it on the 15-minute time frame. Imagine if it does a double fake out. It looks like it came down, broke the low in the first 3 minutes, and then it's pulled all the way back up. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm convinced there must have been something fundamentally to move price. Let's refresh it. Yeah, doesn't seem to be. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for this candle to close and then we're gonna call it a stream there. See what happens. Ooh, look at Euro JPY, man. Looks like it's respecting this support. Gold looks like it should continue moving up over here. Respected this support. Looks like it's just creating like a liquidity wick to continue moving bullish. GJ. Yeah, I think for GJ you may want to see this 15-minute candle close bearish, and then you're expecting the next one to follow suit. But yeah, right now there's no trade. 15 minute, yeah, I think if the 15 minute creates a minor resistance, I think it should continue moving down. What do you think about the support at 136.94? I think you mean this area. Yeah, I think price could react to that, but I'm looking at this was the point. So this was the most recent area from the London session where we held support, and we were tapping into this area, generating liquidity from this price level. So I'm looking at this was the support from the London session. So now that we've broken that support from the London session, I think there's a very high chance price is going to continue moving down at this point. And yes, we do have these these minor levels, but with volume, I'm expecting price to to continue. But let's look at the 1 hour, right? If we look at the 1 hour time frame, yeah, I think that makes sense. We do have this area, some area of issue around 136.900, but I think personally with volume, I think we should continue moving down and break that, because we've got below this support from the London Open pre-London. So yeah, I do believe we should be coming down unless we can start closing back above this area again. But I find that highly unlikely at this point, unless this candle was just a retracement candle. But it's too much of a bearish move there for me to think that price can continue moving up. I think at this point it can continue moving down. Like, sure, there still could be like a liquidity grab on the 4 hour. We don't know. But we have to remember that the smaller time frames, they make up the higher time frames. So looking on the 1 hour time frame, it looks very difficult for price to start coming back up above this area and continuing bullish. The 1 hour looks like it wants to continue moving down. The 30 minute looks like it's getting ready to continue moving down. Let's look at the 15 minute. Yeah, I think if the 15 minute can close bearish, then I think the next 15 minute candle could start to push further down. Yeah, I think if this 15 minute candle closes bearish over here, I think a good opportunity for price to continue moving down would be taking a sell, keeping your stop loss above this area. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for this 15-minute candle to close, and then we'll see. Because it does look like it's reacting to this area here, but then as more volume starts to come in, you know, as it's creating its liquidity to the upside, I think the next candle should smash through that and then fill this range. But this candle needs to close bearish for that to happen. Yeah, looking at US 30, time frame. Yeah, I think if it can close above this minor resistance, should continue moving up. Wow, yeah, we called this footsie fake out over here. Called this to fill this range. Played out perfectly. Yeah, one more minute. I'm gonna wait for this candle to close, and then I'm gonna see. Yeah, I think GJ is going to continue moving down over here. It's creating that minor resistance. And then I think the next candle should pop down. Yeah, so 15-minute candles close bearish. I think at this point there's a very high chance we're going to continue moving down to 136,800. Measure this range, like 13 pips. Stop's going to be around 10 pips. So taking a smaller short position over here. Keep my stop above the 15-minute candle, hoping to catch this further bearish push to the downside. That's going to be my one trade for today. So I'm expecting this 30-minute now, as it's created this top wick, it's filled this wick to continue pushing down, ignoring these minor supports, and to continue moving down to 136,800. That's what I'm expecting to happen. So we'll see what happens. I know I say I don't really trade off the 15 minute, but at this point, you know, it's breaking the low of the previous 30 minute, keeping the stop above the current 30 minute, and I think we're going to continue moving down. Is it not a range until 136.8? 136.8. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at as a target, as a sell position coming down to 136.8. Yeah, exactly. There we go. 15 minutes candle starting to drop.
Jumped in as well.
Nice. So yes, so I think this 15-minute candle should continue moving down to 136.800. So we will see. There we go, 15-minute candle starting to push over here. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow. That literally just went kaboom.
Another Mike Tyson day.
Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, looks like it's tapped into that area and retraced.
Oh, it doesn't look like Mike Tyson.
Oh, wow. That was crazy move right there. Yeah, I just secured at like 7 pips, so it's another win for the day. As soon as I saw that counter go, I was like, yep, I'm getting out. I'm out. Oh, wow. Pulled right back. I hope people secured profits because that literally pushed right to target and then it just dropped. Oh, dropped my mic. Wow, man. 3rd winning trade in a row on the live stream. Guys, if you caught that sell, please drop a like. Please drop a like. There's a 3rd winning trade we've called out this week on the live stream. So,
woohoo! Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. That pullback was nasty. I'm not really sure what's going on over there, but someone's pushing some buttons behind the scenes with GJ.
Yeah, Wix is playing with us.
Yeah. What's going on, Brown Panther? How's it going on, bro? Yeah, George, I know that pullback, man, that was crazy. The live starts at 9 o'clock GMT, so started an hour and 2 hours and 20 minutes ago. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah, that was a really nice push there on GDP JPY. So caught around 7 pips, secured around 7-8 pips. So I hope people secured positions. Oh wow, look at this 15-minute candle. Look at that. Yeah, I closed everything around 7 pips down over here. I just saw it drop and I was like, yeah. So yeah, guys, if you caught this sell, drop a like on the stream. Really appreciate that.
I would be very surprised if that whole move would be a fake out.
Yeah, I mean, if this 15-minute candle reverses everything now, I'll be very, very, very surprised. Very surprised. But yeah, happy with that. Well done, Ash, if you caught that sell. Congratulations. So yeah, great trade. way to end the stream. Did you secure, Greg?
Yes.
Perfect.
I to be honest, I closed everything at the same at 136,800.
It literally tapped 136,800 and then boom, completely reversed.
Quick, nice action.
Yeah, man, people must have had literally their fingers on the triggers of that one. That close over there, cause literally tapped in from straight back.
It's coming back on 15 minutes.
I know. I know. Yeah, what a trade. Well, that's gonna be another great recap for the Instagram later. So please buy that one. Strong support at 136,790. Yeah, this is the area that we just targeted for the sell. And 136,800, 790. That sort of area. And yeah, looks like we're going to be good. I think price should continue moving down. I think this was just, well, it could be a liquidity grab, but see how the hourly closes. But looks like I'll be done for the day now. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of my day. So yeah, I think we're going to end it here in a sec. Yeah, I think we're going to end it here in a minute. How many people we got on the stream today? We've got 24 people, guys. If you caught those sells, put a W in the chat so I know how many people made money today. If you won this trade, yeah, stick a W in the chat if you won this trade. Nice, Ash. Very nice. Great. Few people caught that trade. Very nice. Wow, fantastic. Alright guys, that's all from me today. Thank you everyone for coming to the stream. So remember, it's Friday tomorrow, so Fridays is going to be a nice chill day. We'll get some music going, we'll have some discussions. Yeah, just take it nice and easy. Hope everyone's had a good week. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. And we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Ciao.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Greg. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you everyone from the YouTube. I'll see you tomorrow.